Hello, everybody.
Hello.
That was a heck of an event, wasn't it?
Oh my goodness, it was. I was definitely. Did you see that blindfold? I mean.
Yes, that was absolutely wild.
It was.
You are an absolute madman, Violin.
Yes.
What the heck was that?
I want everyone to know I can't see Ghoul at all right now.
Second J-Hobbs is a very effective blindfold, as we found out last night. Yeah, so that was RPG Limit Break 2022. Just an incredible showcase, some of the greatest RPG speedruns out there. But also, we raised, as of right now, $102,000 and $500 for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, which is just such an incredible cause. You know, mental health is such a big thing, and you know, it impacts so many of us in our day-to-day lives. And this money is just—it's such a great cause and such a great grassroots charity that does so much work for so many people. We could not choose a better charity to partner with, and it's truly fantastic that we managed to come together for such a fantastic cause once again. So we have a couple traditions at Limit Break, one of which is right when we get to the outro. I'm going to hand it off to the lovely Puexel for just a little bit to give, as our head of staff, to give a little bit of an outro, say his round of thanks, and then we'll go into a couple of other little mini traditions that we'll get to when we get there. So Puexel, if you want to come right on up. And I believe we have a floor mic right over there.
All right. Well, as Ghoul just said, I'm Puexel, co-founder and event director for RPG Limit Break. Just want to say, feels really, really, really good to not only have just wrapped up our first in-person event in 3.5 years, but to have raised over $100,000 for NAMI in the process. Let's have another round of applause for that. So there's been, over the course of kind of the break we took between our last in-person event in 2019 and this one, there's been a fair number of changes in staff for RPG Limit Break. So I just wanted to just thank everybody that that helped with the planning and operations for our event. First, just big thanks to all of our tech staff. Heroic Spirit Gamer, Ashen Prime, Takaze, Miria, Richard, Rizliu, The Sid, and Hoishin. Let's all give them a big round of applause. This event, as you can probably expect from being hybrid, as far as having participants both on site at our venue and also from their own homes, took a lot of planning and set up in order to make it go off. And I mean, we were worried about going into the wee hours of the morning because of having setup issues with stuff, and we ended up having time to add 2 more runs to the schedule. So, yeah, that was pretty darn good. All right, then I'd also like to thank Jay Hobbs, not the Piplup, but the staff member who maintains the RPGLimitBreak.com website. I'd like to thank our volunteer directors, Bob the Ninja Goldfish, Alec K47, Dowolf, Ghost Kumo, DJ Tifa Hart, Austin, Janot, and Junkie GS, all of whom have put in a lot of time in as far as kind of recruiting people to serve our volunteer roles, write up documentation, be on call pretty much around the clock in some cases to keep all of that running smoothly. So let's give all of them a round of applause. Then I'd like to thank our safety and enforcement staff, Wells JC, Quistacular, and Grimora. This was a very, very important role for our event this year. I mean, with the state of our world right now, so big thanks. I'd like to thank our logistics coordinators, Fant and Lifa Freeze. I'd like to thank our, I'd like to thank Clear Tonic, who's our interview crew and charity coordinator. like to thank our prize department, Essentia and Ghoul02. I mean, we wouldn't have our friend Pipla up here and about 55 or so other prizes without our prize team.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank our primary artist, LLK, who's drew some gorgeous new RPG Limit Break logos for our event, along with some new emotes. I'm a pretty big fan of RPG Victory, which we just rolled out earlier in this week.
Thank you, okay.
And also thanks to Carrie Fry for drawing our original Limit Break logo, which we're also using in our assets. And then the gorgeous stream layouts that we've been seeing all throughout the week were done by our friend Oro. Let's give him a round of applause. I'd like to thank our interview crew, most of which is standing right here behind me, but we had several people doing interviews from home too for remote runners. And our interview crew is Clear Tonic, Cuteroo, Kizaran, J-Hobbs, Ghoul02, Freddy, Toju, and Bowie the Hero. Let's give them all a round of a hand. All right, so that's our Limit Break 2022 staff. Just want to go through a couple other shout-outs. I'd like to shout out Rob Wesseman and Michelle Vaughn from NAMI. Great charity partners, and made a lot of contributions to promoting and helping out the event in various ways. I'd like to thank Cool Maddie, Mike Uyama, and the staff of Games Done Quick, who've been invaluable resources for us to consult with, especially with a lot of the tech planning and other logistics for doing our first hybrid event. I'd like to thank High Spirits, a very good friend of us, who during our our 3-year break from running on-site events, he ran 2 online charity events in support of NAMI called Questing for Glory, Hope, and Healing in 2020 and 2021. And I mean, even though he wasn't able to make it in person to Limit Break 2022, he still helped us out a lot remotely for the planning and management of the event. So let's give High Spirits a big round of applause. So I'd like to thank Zillion and the other organizers for the Japanese restream, and then Biff and the organizers of the French restream for all of the work they put in as far as kind of helping people in other countries enjoy our marathon more. Let's give them a round of applause. I'd like to thank Nicole Smith from Twitch for helping with promoting the event and getting us some slots on the Twitch front page rotation to boost our viewership. And I'd like to thank Glenn O'Neill, Mark Junker, and the staff of the Yeti for doing their shirt promotion with those gorgeous designs that I'm looking forward to getting in a couple months. With part of the proceeds going to NAMI. I'd like to thank the staff of the Doubletree Salt Lake City Airport for putting up with us for a full week, playing video games around the clock. Kind of a different kind of event than most hotels are used to, but this was a great home for us this year. Then I'd like to thank all runners, commentators, and volunteers, whether on site here in Salt Lake City or remotely. I mean, the event wouldn't happen. We wouldn't have an event without people doing speed runs, and I'm really happy with all the runs and with how everybody that had volunteer roles did them. So let's give everybody a round of applause. I'd like to thank the other members of our games committee for helping me make a really, really good schedule that I know a lot of people, all of us enjoyed this past week, and hopefully you all did at home as well. And then last but not least, I'd like to thank all of our wonderful, wonderful prize donors. I mean, some of the stuff that was shipped to us for prizes this week is just so incredible as far as the amount of as far as either the financial cost behind it or the time and materials that went into building some of the custom stuff. So big round of applause for all the prize donors. All right, that's it for me. So I think I'm handing the mic off to Tech to let some other people say a few words.
Yeah, so up next, I do want to have a couple words from Heroic Spirit Gamer, who kind of has been the secondary force behind this event in particular, making sure everything was running and making sure the event probably would not have happened without him. So let's hear a couple words from him as well.
All right, thank you. So Adam already said a lot, sorry, Plexel already said a lot, and thanked a bunch of people that I was probably going to also thank here. What I will say is I definitely want to give 2 additional shout outs that we've already thanked, and that primarily is Ashen Prime. Actually said, if I'm going to make it work here, can you pan over to Ashen and our entire tech setup here? So,
Hi, Mom.
So for this year, the amount of tech expansion we did was kind of astounding. We decided, we already had a plan in mind after 2019 to not do so much hybrid console in terms of things like SD or HD and go full HD, which pretty much required rebuying the whole setup for the most part. And so we're coming off of almost a 4-year break. With that, we've had some staffing changes, and we didn't really have a whole lot of people on site. So Ashen really stepped up and truly pioneered a lot of this. Even though I did all the planning, he was the one that executed it and tested all of it before the event. So I definitely want to make sure that he gets his due diligence here. The one other person that I definitely want to thank that Plexel also did already is High Spirits as well. It's been almost 4 years, and he did run 2 events in our hiatus. And I definitely want to give extra thanks and shout outs to him as well for that, because quite frankly, this is a long time coming. I'm personally, honestly sad that it's taken us this long to come back. I feel definitely a sense of, I don't know how to put it. This shouldn't have taken so long for us to come back. And I know this is very important to a lot of people. I know this is very important to myself even. And I wish it didn't take so long, but we're back, and I'm very glad for it.
All righty. So one other tradition that we do have at Limit Break during the finale is we do generally kind of allow for an open mic for people to kind of share stories, to kind of just one time reiterate, why we're all here for this cause with NAMI and mental illness, and kind of help, remind people the message that, once again, you're not alone, and that you should, reach out for help if you need it. And again, if you ever do need help, NAMI has multiple crisis lines and ways to help you in your time of need. Just go to NAMI.org. There will be plenty of links there, and they do such incredible work for many people. But it's a cause that means a lot to a lot of people, and I've always found that this is one of my favorite parts of the event, because this reminds everybody what the money goes towards and why it's so important that, again, we help get this message out there. So without further ado, I believe let's start going from there. Do we want to go with Bob first, or do we want to go with some other people first?
Bob.
Let's go, Bob.
Oh, I didn't see you there. I was just over here flirting with chat. Hello there.
Hello there.
Okay, so all joking aside, it has been my first year on staff here, and I have been asked to take care of a little business at the start of my speech. I was having lunch with Michelle from NAMI this afternoon, and she mentioned to me something she neglected to mention during her interview, so she'd like me to bring that up now. And that is, Nami has published a book. It is all about the experiences of about 130 people sharing their lived experiences with mental illness. It's written by the medical director, Ken Duckworth. It's called You Are Not Alone, and it is available now wherever books are sold. So please go out and pick that up and help Nami even more. Now, on to my actual thing. Wow, where to begin? First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone that volunteered, being the coordinator for the host and donation station, the cleaning and the check-in. I don't think our cleaning staff got enough credit this year because they went absolute beast mode to keep everyone safe the best they could. So can we please get a round of applause for them? Now on to something a little more personal. The last 2 years have been very difficult for a lot of people. However, it's been a little differently difficult for people in my situation. I am physically disabled. I have to walk with a cane. I cannot leave the house on my own. Not to belittle the experiences of other people, but to hear people speak about how staying at home during quarantine affected them, or they couldn't go out, was heartbreaking. However, for people like me, that's not just happening during COVID. It's happening every day of every year, all the time. And you hear people talk about going back to normal. Well, for a lot of people out there, the old normal sucked. Move forward, do better, be awesome. And just to round this off on a bit of a brighter note, the last 2.5 years of there being no limit break has absolutely slayed me. But that first day, when we were getting set up, it was like we hadn't even skipped a beat. It was glorious! I want to thank everyone in attendance that has done everything they can to help me this week with my mobility issues, my physical issues. And I want to give a special shout out to my coffee daddy, Gramora, who has been filling me full of coffee so that I don't lose my voice after doing epic wrestling intros for Final Fantasy VII Remastered. That being said, I will take up no more time and just say to everyone, it's good to be back.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Bob. So I believe we have a couple people that do want to speak. So if we want to go, I know Kateria, let's go ahead and have you come up next.
So I never imagined that I would have the privilege of speaking at this in 2019. And after I left, I wondered to myself how the heck I would ever top what somehow came out of me in 2019. And I just was resigned to the fact that it was some kind of divine intervention and that I would never be able to do it again. But since then, the world has put all of us through trials and tribulations that none of us could have imagined. So I'm here to tell you my personal COVID-19 mental health horror story and a story of an unbelievable act of kindness that saved me during the worst mental health crisis of my life. And if it wasn't for this one gentleman and the one thing he did for me, I promise you I wouldn't be standing here and you wouldn't have seen that Manamon run on Tuesday night because I'd be in a coffin of my own making. I was that far gone. I very much second what Bob says about disability. It's a nightmare without a pandemic. I'm blind, I have no sense of smell, I have almost no sense of taste, and then I was locked in a room for months on end with no reason to believe it would ever end. But where this story takes a light turn and kind of a crazy one is that I had nothing during that except my own mind, which I guess as a defense mechanism took me back to childhood, and I had this song from my childhood stuck in my head that I hadn't heard in 20 years. And I just searched for it, and a whole bunch of people got involved searching for it. Turns out it was from my French classes when I was little, and from the program they had in Canada called Dis-moi tout, hence the name of this puppet that's around my neck that I introduced to you on Tuesday night. But I had this song stuck in my head that I was calling it the elusive cha-cha-cha because I remembered what it sounded like, but I didn't remember the words, and I just wanted to hear it again. And long story short, it took 9 months, but I tracked down, with the help of many people, I tracked down the author, the gentleman who wrote the song. And it's unbelievable because his wife is the one that sang it. And his wife passed away some 20 years ago from cancer. And after he and his wife performed that music and submitted it to the company that commissioned them to produce it, the company only ever gave him one copy of his own music on cassette. And after hearing my story, he actually gave it to me. Can you see that? Am I showing that? Is that on the screen? Yeah. He actually gave that to me. And this was the voice of his wife that died. He knew how much that song would mean to me to hear it again, and he actually gave it to me. And you know what? I firmly believe that I lived through COVID because of that one action from that one person, that one just unbelievably selfless act. And you know what? We can all do that because at the end of the day, there are way too many people in this world who say, well, I can't save the world. And you know what? They're correct. You can't save the world. But what you can do is you can save the little tiny piece of it on which you currently stand. You can make things better for the person next to you. And you know, if each of us did that, just that, we would save the world, because the math speaks for itself. An infinite number of small things adds up to an infinitely big thing. So be that rock for someone, because someday it's going to be your turn to need that. And if we all just stop hating and fearing and fighting, and we just take a step back and take a deep breath and smell the roses. You know, we wouldn't have roses if we didn't have skunks. We wouldn't know what great things were if we didn't have sad things. Speaking of skunks, that's what the song was called, Le Cha-Cha-Cha de la Moufette, which means the skunks cha-cha-cha. And I finally got to hear it after 20 years. And it was a crazy experience. But just be there for someone and let someone be there for you. You need to be well so that you can make someone else well, and they need to be well so that they can help make you well when the time is right. So guess what, my friends? The ball's in your court. It's your move. What will it be? Thank you.
Alrighty. Does anybody else want to go next? Alec, I believe you're standing up.
Hello, everyone. I'm not going to try to follow that because no one can. Also, no one needs to. One of the things that I have learned over my time in the speedrunning community is that the community is so much better for the sum of its parts. And without going too much into things and belaboring the point too much, I really want to emphasize how much this was a group effort, not just within staff, within any department of staff, but within literally everyone here and everyone else working to make this event what it has been. And I want to say thank you all. This couldn't happen without all of you. It wouldn't be what it is without all of you. And it wouldn't be one of the things that has kept me going through a difficult time in my life. And I know other people, Bob, who helped out a great deal, more than I felt comfortable asking of him even for this event. And that's just within my department. And then I look at all the volunteers who stepped up over the week when someone couldn't do something or someone couldn't make it here for whatever reason. And we covered for each other as a community, as a group. And we supported each other. So for NAMI, the community, thank you.
For the record, it was my pleasure, Alec.
GK, you want to hop up?
Hi, everybody. I am Ghost Kumo, and so this has been kind of a long time coming. I was a part of like 8 runs on this schedule in some form, whether it be through hosting, whether it be on commentary, and just kind of reflects, I think, a lot to me of just how much a lot of this community means to me. I joined kind of the community almost specifically because of Limit Break back in 2015. It was the first marathon that truly made me want to get involved in this. And I've grown a lot as a person. I think, no journey of growth is ever completed, and I'm still trying, to grow as a person. But I think I've made a lot of steps, and I think a lot of that is due to the, wonderful friends that I've made in this community. Be there for other people. It means so much. It's gotten me through so much of the last, I would say the last, few years, especially because of, what's been going on. But even since before then, I've really, thank you, Bob. I see Bob giving a heart over on the hosting desk. Means a lot to me. I think it's really helped me as a, introverted kind of shy person who's had a hard time, in my life making friends, to just, have people. This event has really helped me come out of my shell. 7 years ago, I wouldn't have imagined that I'd be doing karaoke with one of my best friends here, singing Frank Sinatra for charity.
Do it again.
Wouldn't have it any other way. But yep, just to not have to say too much more. Thank you all so much. Thank everyone for watching. Thank you all for donating. This is a cause that means a lot to me personally, as someone who has a degree in psychology specifically because of my interest in learning about mental health. And, it's an ever-evolving field. It's one that not a lot of people fully understand. And I understand, and not everyone who knows about mental health and wants better for it fully understands it, but understand enough to, try and be there for somebody. So that'll be it for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, go RPG Limit Break.
Or are we pretty much good to wrap this thing up? Oh, we got another one. All right, awesome.
Lisa Rocks here. Hello. Last time I was up here was in 2017, and I spoke about my battles with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. Well, my mother was watching that night, and I had suggested, sometimes people are so depressed or anxious they can't make decisions. So, like, sometimes asking yes/no questions will help, offering to make appointments for them, offering to go with them to set appointment. Last time I was here in 2019, I was very pregnant, and I mentioned this briefly during my run earlier this week. How I fell into postpartum depression and anxiety again. My mother was out again in California, we're from New York, to help take care of my baby, and she called me out. She said, "You got up there in front of everybody and said all these things about how to help people that need help." And I was just so in such a mindset, like a downward spiral, that I didn't care. She's like, you got out there and you told all these people how to help other people like you. And I just want to mention that sometimes when you're in that mindset, you forget how you do need help and other people are trying to help you. So basically what I'm trying to say is my mom called me out, and if you find someone like me who was spiraling and didn't want to do anything about it, just be patient and help however you can. So thank you so much for listening to my speech this time, and I just want to give a follow-up, and we're all good now. But no, I just wanted to mention that even though I had so many good things to say at that time, it was just a different mindset when it happened again. So thank you.
I do believe Ash wanted to say a couple words as well. So I believe he can probably cue himself in from the desk over there.
I do have that button, yes. It's hard to make me stop. So yeah, I also wanted to say a few words. This event is amazing. I came at this not because I'm a gamer or I particularly loved video games, but because I lived locally, and the things that are done to make a marathon happen are amazing, and I want to be a part of and help that. And then, after however many years of helping this, now I just have a giant games list that I need to go through at some point, because games are fun, imagine. But this community specifically helps make it fun, because we talk to each other online, and we communicate, we organize, we get these things together, and all these fun names on the screen, and seeing people talk is great. To actually finally be in person again, to see people's faces, to put faces to names that I didn't know they went together before, to know who they are, is a fantastic experience. So I'm going to steal from Sid, because he gave this challenge in 2019, and then the world went crazy. But I'm going to give it again. As it makes sense for you, as it's possible for you to do so, try and get to one of these. RPG Limit Break is a great one, and I would highly recommend it. But honestly, any in-person get-together. I'm muffed. I don't hear what's all going on behind me. Something has happened. But honestly, any in-person get-together with friends and like-minded individuals, find your way to get there, because it's good for the soul. It's just good for the soul. I did have one goof thing. Did we have that figured out? Great. So I did have a few things that I also wanted to give as part of helping to set this up. Specifically, I did want to specifically thank all of the remote runners for putting up with it. I helped to spearhead, not helped to spearhead. I charged in bullheaded to try and figure out our remote setup. And so I want to thank everybody who connected remotely, all the runners, commentators, and hosts, for putting up with the system. it had some good things about it, and we're going to try and keep those and make them better, and then try and get rid of some of the ones that weren't as great. So thank you all for putting up with that. We need to give a big thanks to Dante from the Devil May Cry series. That was absolutely 100% essential to all of our audio routing through this. That's a joke for us in the room, but mostly a joke for me. And yeah, and of course everybody here. I want a huge thanks to the staff for taking somebody who, at the time, especially because most of my involvement in the community has been this, a relative unknown except for what I've shown up here to do, and just being like, yeah, okay, we're going to just give you a ton of responsibility and trust that you'll do it. And that trust that they placed in me, I absolutely thank them for. So, and then all of you, everybody on that side of the room that Sid can pan back over to now and get the camera off me. Thank you all.
All righty.
Hey, Sid. Sid, can we get the camera back on Asher for a minute? We're gonna embarrass.
Why? What? Yes.
All right. Is there anybody else? Oh. Okay, sorry. I'm looking this way and not look that way.
That's fine. Since Ashen stole my thunder, I guess we'll just make this short and sweet. What we did here this week was build the rock, and it's nowhere but up from here. This is just the beginning, and we're going to make this bigger and better each and every time. I hope all of you are willing to come along with us on that journey to keep smashing our goals and continually improving the event. Thank you.
Priya?
I didn't even think I was going to come up here this year because I was like, I don't even know what to say. But just hearing everybody talk, I just wanted to maybe say something if I can fight the nerves and collect my thoughts again. Like I said last time, I love public speaking. I'm not good at it. When COVID hit, well, first of all, let me explain this concept called social enemy. It is a term I learned from my sociology class in college. Basically says the less ties and connections that you have with people, the more likely you will, trigger warning maybe, commit suicide. And gotta say, it just shows up over and over in my life again, just that I get to this point where the loneliness is so overwhelming that I'm just like, I just need something. I was on my way to being certified as a yoga teacher at the end of 2019. And I didn't quite get it all done, and I will because it's very important to me. But, you know, my yoga teacher was one of those people that were there for me, and he just disappeared. Just completely disappeared when COVID hit. And I just never thought my mental state could get worse, and it just did. And like Bob was saying, like, in mid-2020, 21, I really hurt my ankle really bad, and like I was just basically bedridden for 6 months at least. And it's hard. Where was I going with this? Sorry. Oh, yeah. A couple months ago, I found a job that gave me so much joy. It was working with kids as a paraeducator, and I made a mistake and got fired. And it just ripped the life out of me. Like my heart. But despite that, I want to keep going. I want to be a teacher. And it's so hard though, because I just feel like all these things keep getting ripped away from me, and it's so hard to grab. Because, you know, I struggle with mental health, and so people, I don't know, I just can't get along with people so much sometimes, but I try so hard. And I just think if something's really important to you, you just gotta keep going. You know, like, you can't let people take away what matters to you. No matter how hard it gets, just keep trying. It's been an emotional week, I guess. And it's great. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for letting me volunteer. It was amazing to be a host. Like, it was so fun, and I'm so glad I was given the opportunity, and that Bob believed I could do it, and Alec believed I could do it. And like Ashton was saying, when people put their trust in you, it means so much. Like, it makes you step up. Like, people think, especially people that have a hard time, like, I don't know, I think for some people, like, especially me, like, if you give me something to do and you trust me, like, I will do whatever I can to get it done. And it just, it feeds your soul. It's so nice. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you. Love you too.
Come on up.
Oh, me next. Thank you. Yeah, I'm Shiner. I ran Nocturne. I haven't been at a... Well, this is only my second in-person speedrunning event. I did a run at SGDQ 2015. And it's great to be able to come out to this and show up, like, to be able to... Okay, let me rewind a little bit. COVID did something interesting to me, too, in that I finally had the opportunity. I was not able to work anymore. I was able to stream on Twitch and play as many video games as I want. Shouldn't I be so happy to do this, right? But instead, my passion slowly declined, and I am instead at this perfect point of neutrality all the time. It's funny that when you play Nocturne, sometimes demons will just interrupt you in combat and ask you a weird philosophical question like, do we really need emotions? And you can answer yes or no. It doesn't really matter what you tell them, but it makes you think. I read in a book that your emotional reaction time is about equivalent to 2 frames. Like human reaction time is about 160 or 200 milliseconds, but an emotion hits you in about 32 in 2 frames. So I like to say that passion is not required, but it sure is nice to have it. I do not know what's wrong with me. Sometimes my goals or my process are indistinct. And when both are murky, that is bad. I think if one is very clear, that's very good. If you have a good process, like a speedrun you are working on, you will PB and arrive upon some goal eventually, and that is great. Or if you have a clear goal, you will head towards it, even if it is murky. Perhaps I could be characterized as having depression, but I've been worse before, and I refuse to go back to that pit. It's just useless. Maybe I have one foot at the edge, but I can springboard off it. I can come here to RPG Limit Break and show off what I've been working on for 2 years, this great project of mine. Maybe I do not have passion, but I have the knowledge and the skills and want to just share what I've been working on. One will come after me who will continue the work. Maybe they will have more passion than I. They will probably beat my time, and that's great. I will be very happy for them, just as happy as I am to be here right now. I was thinking that I would want to come on stage and say something. I would be afraid that I would say the wrong thing in this context. But maybe it's like riding a bicycle down a tightrope. The message here is that maybe I'm not 100% perfect. I know I've been in better moods, but I think I'm doing great. I think I will head for greatness. I knew coming here that I would achieve speed glory. I think I got a legendary run, and I'm very happy to have helped the cause in whatever silly way I can. Thank you.
Hello, I am Math Girl. So many of you know of me from several different communities. Welcome DWR, FR, Link to the Past, all y'all. So I've had a rough life, and COVID has really hurt that a lot. But in recent weeks, I want to shout out that you can change how you are and become a better person. My dear friend, Cubs Rules, stood up and helped me accept who I am as a non-binary person of the community. And it has really helped me to have that level of acceptance. So he is really, am I okay? Okay. Oh, sorry. Could they hear me before? Okay. But I just want to say, please, everybody can make a good thing out of something bad. I took that negativity I've had my whole life from the time I was a child, and I'm trying to turn my life around and be a positive influence and help people. And I want to share the goodness that Cubs extended to me, and know that if you feel like you're alone and nobody accepts you, there's always somebody around who will accept you. And don't listen to the people who tell you that your life means nothing, because listening to that is what will bring you down. But it's the people who, like Cubs, that help you and accept you. They're the ones who you should listen to. And it really is a really great thing. And I want everybody to help each other and extend that kindness. Be that strong moral support for, even the most negative person. It just takes one light in the darkness to bring out the best in somebody. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know, mostly just want to talk about cousin I lost during the pandemic. He was found dead on a bus one morning, and after which we learned that quite a while before that he had been stopped taking his medicines and ran away from home, and his mother basically decided to keep that a secret from all of us, from all of his cousins, and because she didn't want us to be ashamed of him. And I'm not going to say me knowing would have magically helped anything, living 1,000 miles away and in the middle of a pandemic, but it doesn't do any good either to leave them out on their own, to have them not have anyone with them. So, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say beyond that, but yeah.
Hello, I'm AG Deeds, or you can call me Silver. This little mandragora, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have noticed he's been watching, along with all of you guys, and I thought I would give a little confession. It's very lighthearted. This is my first year volunteering for RPG Limit Break, and so I brought this mandragora with me for the week because kind of my little mascot. So the little symbol on the mandragora's head in Final Fantasy XIV Online is a little sprout, and it means you're new to the game. So this was my little encouragement of like, I'm new to this, but I'm gonna have a good time. And it was really fun that our little mascot of RPG Limit Break picked up, let him sit next to him and watch the show the whole week. And I just want all of you at home that were watching for the first time, this was also representing you. And you can come here next year and be with us and volunteer, or if you found a game that you really loved, join the community and be a part of it and join us. You can be with us next year. We would love to have you because I felt like I was really loved to be here, and I know you will feel the same way. So come with us.
Hi, I'm Am Further. I've ran several games this marathon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and yeah, coming from Australia, it's pretty isolating being away from your friends and my partner for a long time. As I've been here, there's been natural disaster happening in Australia at the moment with a lot of flooding and all that. And my mother tends to work in some dangerous areas in that regard, and it's always really important to check in on family members, especially when you're away from them and people you care about. And it's just, I'm glad she's all right, and I'm glad, and I'm hoping other family members that have been there in flood-affected areas have been all right. And also with the past couple of years being isolated in, just in Australia in general, or just like having that feeling when you're alone. There's always going to be someone who cares for you, even if they don't show it in a way that you may like. There's always they'll always care and love you. And I'm hoping that helps and understand some people as well. Like they express themselves differently. They express how they feel. They express how they want to help you differently. It may be a bit blunt. It may be a bit brutal, but they do care for you. And yeah, it's a sort of it's sort of something I've learnt from other people, and as strange as it sounds, I've learned to love them more and care for them more, and I am absolutely relieved that my family is okay and everything, and please check in on the people that you care about.
Yeah, Phil, go ahead.
Me. I have a rather silly story about my experience here. Bear with me. I, like many, joined the speedrunning community by looking upward. I saw Limit Break. I saw this charity empowering people with mental illnesses to speak for themselves, and that hit really close to me. So I set myself a goal that I wanted to help give back to a community and a cause that I loved so much. But the more I worked toward it, the closer I got, the more this doubt festered in my head. I idolized these people. I looked up to them to such an extent. I saw them as so noble, so invincible, that I judged myself as inadequate by comparison. Imposter syndrome, if you will. My heart has been beating out of its chest ever since I got accepted into Limit Break this year. It was beating out of my chest when I walked up to my first volunteer shift hosting for DQ. Thanks, Bob. I just could not shake these nerves that these were people I couldn't compare myself to. And then I do my first volunteer shift, and I'm cracking stupid jokes the entire time. The more I talked with everybody, the more we shared, the more we laughed, the more I realized these people are like me. They're not some invincible deity on high. They're people with hobbies and ambitions just like my own, and that I don't need to delude myself into thinking that I need to be just like them. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be invincible, because nobody is. I just have to be me, and that's more than enough. As someone who's spent so much of their life trying to fit into boxes, trying to be someone I'm not, that sense of belonging, that sense of purpose, it means so much to me. To be able to say, this is where I belong. I can't express enough what it means to have friends. I know it's cliche, I know it's an RPG trope, but when do we kill God? But I can't express enough how much it rings true. This was my first time doing volunteer shifts at Limit Break, and in retrospect, it's kind of silly that I was so nervous at all. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And in getting lost in lofty goals, you can forget you're walking the path at all. But that's the key. No matter how long it takes, no matter how far ahead that goal is, you just keep walking forward. And eventually, someday, you'll make it. Thank you.
shot, if you don't come over and get a hug immediately, I am going to slap you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, come on up, Sanjan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sanjan. I did opener, and I just want to say that being able to be here and do runs and volunteer has meant a lot to me because I think as many of you watchers know, like RPGs mean quite a bit to me. You're just like going on adventures, and then like not only that, but like also getting into the speedrun community and playing games fast, and then raising money for a really great charity. Like RPGs for me is like help my mental health in a lot of ways. And I'm trying to think of anything else to say, but like, yeah, thank you to everyone who pretty much like said hi to me or like thanked me for runs, and then like every single one was like really great. And I'm really bad with words, but I also want to thank this place has been really great, and I'm really happy to raise a lot of money for a great charity. Also, shout outs to the people who helped eat the birthday cake that we weren't able to, me and my friend weren't able to finish. I think that's it for me. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, Some Diener. I wrote down some things so I wouldn't forget. RPG Limit Break is, without any exaggeration, the start of my own speedrunning journey. I fell in love with the show the first time I watched it, and watching a run that I really liked convinced me to try it out for myself. And that led me to some just totally awesome speedrunning communities, wonderful friends that I feel real, genuine connections with. To be a part of this year's show is a literal dream come true for me. And to add in that we're here raising money for a charity as meaningful to me as NAMI, I couldn't be prouder to be a part of this event. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed and donated. Thank you so much to everyone who helped organize and run the event. And thank you so much to everyone at NAMI. So I can't wait to see everyone again next year in 2023 for an even more spectacular event. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, I believe we got one more over here.
Hello, I'm Violin. This is gonna sound a little silly, but growing up, I was always a pretty decent musician. I was always like the top of my orchestra as a violinist. But I only really played music. I only played an orchestra just for something to do, just something I was good at. I really didn't have a sense of purpose until 2017 came around and I started speedrunning and making friends. Slowly over time, my passion for speedrunning has dwindled. Like speedrunning is great, it's awesome to compete on leaderboards. It's cool to find new strats. It's cool to talk to people about just games in general. But events like RPG Limit Break really reminds me why I fell in love with speedrunning in the first place, and that's because of the amazing connections that I've made through this amazing hobby. And I want to remind everyone watching that there's always someone out there you can talk to, someone always out there who can help you. And I just want to thank all of my friends that I made around the world for being there for me in the toughest times. Thank you.
Ooh,
this is going to be hard for me to do, but I thought, why not? Just take the brave step, right? Go up in the camera. I just want to say thank you to everyone here. I know that a lot of people see like the happy, joyous side of me, and I'm like very bubbly and everything, but my whole life story is actually quite sad. And because of that, I've experienced a lot of the loss and sorrow. I've lost family members. I'm not going to go into all of it, but I've learned at a very, very young age how life can be cruel, as well as just learn that, you know, as we were saying earlier, that no matter how dark it is and no matter how alone you feel, just always remember that there is someone out there listening. There's someone who does love you unconditionally, because I know very well how scary it is and how terrifying it is. And you know what? Life just continues giving you those challenges. I mean, I developed a mental disorder called borderline personality disorder, and I've learned how to live with it and cope with it. But at the same time, you know, I'm having trouble having children with my own husband. So there's a lot that I could say when it comes to my story, but I want everyone to just listen and realize that this is a community to be like vulnerable, and you can open yourself and allow that love to come in. Because I'll tell you right now, everyone has a story, and everyone, if you just listen and just give hugs and loves. I know that's such an interesting things to say and the way to say it, but you never know what's going on for a person, no matter how they look, no matter what the outside looks like. There's always something internally going in, and reaching out and just giving an open arm and an ear to listen to and a shoulder to cry on. That is what I want to say. Speedrunning has changed my life, and if it wasn't for the amazing friends I've made here, I don't think I would be the same person I am today. I just appreciate all of you, and thank you for having me, and you all rock, and love you all.
Anybody else, or are we good to wrap this up? All right, I think that probably means it's about time to wrap this up. So once again, this has been NAMI. It's RPG Limit Break, raising money for NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. Again, go to NAMI.org to go check out. Again, they have so many resources to help anybody that might be struggling. Once again, the call to help help people with their mental health and mental illness doesn't stop here. You know, they need more volunteers and everything else year round. You know, reach out to people, show people you love them, continue being awesome. And I believe, Bob, do we have a raid target in mind already?
Oh, yes, we do.
All right, let's go there and let's show them some love ourselves. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will hopefully see you next time.
All right, so just remember that RPG Limit Break may only happen once a year, but we have tons of awesome community marathons and tournaments that happen on this channel the year round. Please check back. We're going to go raid a community member called Cruel, but I will sign off, as we always do, by saying, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and those of other persuasions, in the words of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, be excellent to each other. And party on, my friends! And we're clear. For those of you interested, for those of you interested, we will be starting breakdown at 10 a.m.
はい、皆さんお疲れ様でした。すいません、最後ね、本家のコメントですね。我々の声を載せるのはとても惜しいと思ってしまったので、無音でお送りしました。申し訳ありません。はい、今回ね、翻訳していただいた、カルミナさん、どうもありがとうございました。最後にね、ジャパニーズリストリームの方から、少しだけ、案内をさせていただければなと思いますので、今しばらくね、お付き合いいただければと思います。いや、大丈夫だと思って喋り始めますが、今回ね、ジャパニーズリストリームでは RPG リミットブレイク2022の様子をね、公認で、ミラー配信させていただきましたということになります。はい、今回の RPG リミットブレイク2020ね、オンライン、オフライン混成開催ということになっておりまして、イベント形式としてはチャリティー RTA イベントとなっております。はい。2019年をね、最後に、なかなか開催することができなかった RPG リミットブレイクですが、ついに、帰ってきたということになりました。さあ、チャリティー RTA イベントということなので、チャリティー先の紹介もさせていただきます。今回のイベント中もね、何度も説明させていただいたと思いますが、最後にもう一度だけ。今回のチャリティー先、今までの RPG リミットブレイクと、引き続きですね、ナショナルアライアンスオブメンタルイルネス、通称 NAMI という、団体になっておりまして、簡単に説明させていただくとですね、NAMI は、精神疾患を持つ方やその家族、心の不調や悩みを持つ方々を支えることを目的にね、 設立された非営利団体となっておりまして、その活動の中には、支援もさることながら、教育だったりとか、環境のサポート、周知なども含まれております。ぜひね、どんな活動をしているのか、ご自身で調べていただけると幸いです。いろんな事前事業ありますが、まずは知っていただくことがね、初めの一歩になるのかなと考えております。はい、続きまして、ジャパニーズリストリームの話を少しだけ、させていただきます。今回もね、日本語配信をするにあたって、多くの方に、協力をいただきました。特に今回はですね、我々運営のスケジュールの問題でね、なかなか本当にできるのかどうかわからない状態からね、ちょっと私の方から無理やりやろうぜみたいな話を言い出した部分もね、若干あって、申し訳ないなと思いながら、いつも以上にですね、ボランティアスタッフに協力いただき、今回のリストリーム走り切ることができました。私の方からね、皆さんに言いたいことはもうただ一言になるんですが、ありがとうございました。もうこの一言につきます。もちろん、解説していただいた方、一緒に盛り上げて、くれた皆さん、ありがとうございました。今回も、感謝とともにですね、皆さんの紹介をさせていただきます。少々お待ちくださいね。はい、今回ね、協力していただいた、関係者の皆様、リストにまとめさせていただきました。紹介させていただきます。チャット欄に、出させていただきましたが、関係者紹介シート、今回のイベント分となっております。よろしくお願いします。はい。では続きましてですね、いつものチャンネル貸し出しのね、案内をさせていただきます。ジャパニーズリストリームでは、チャンネルの貸し出しを行っております。こちらに、載せさせていただいたのは、過去、チャンネル貸し出しをご利用いただいたイベントになります。貸し出しの際にはですね、主催者の方からの許諾を必ず取るようによろしくお願いします。そして、最後になりますが、次回皆さんにね、お会いできる日はいつになるんだろうというお話になります。大体ね、ジャパニーズリストリーム、月に1回ぐらいね、やってたりするんですけれども、ちょっと今回ね、なんだこの日付はっていう形になってますね。はい。スピードランエスパニオール。2022年10月30日から、11月の7日まで、公式で、日本語ミラー配信する予定になっております。現在ね、ボランティアスタッフの方、募集させていただいております。皆さんのご協力、皆さんの応募、お待ちしておりますので、よろしくお願いします。今からちょうど1週間後になりますね。あ、そうRPG リミットブレイクって書いてある。ちょっとそこは見なかったことにしておいてください。そういうこともあります。はい。それでは、いつも通り、最後にですね、お上手にまとまったムービーの後にですね、レイドをしてお別れとなります。皆様、ごきげんよう。